So we're going to do it silently tonight. We're going to start the show silently tonight. So here we go. Here we go, testing. We're going to do it silently tonight. If I can figure out how to do this. Here we go. Hello and welcome to Amateur Radio Roundtable. I'm Tom, W5KUB, and this show is about ham radio. If you're out there listening on International Shortwave tonight on WBCQ on 7490, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email to tom@w5kub.com and let us know where in the world you are, and we'll get you a QSL card out there to you. Also, if you will, please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel there. Hit the subscribe button. That helps us greatly to help advertise our show to other YouTube people that are, surfing through YouTube and looking for things. So that's a big help if you can do that for us. Hit the subscribe, and hey, if you like the show tonight, hit like. That would also help a lot. We got quite a few guests in the chat room tonight, international guests in there. We want to say hello to you. I have not had the 40-meter net in a few weeks. The band has been so bad, and it was like pulling teeth. I decided just it wasn't worth it right now. Also, with the jamming on there, that's causing some issues too. The band just sounds really cruddy. We'll talk a little more about that a little later too. Hey, we got the Huntsville Hamfest coming up this weekend. We're going down, Kathy and I are going down on Thursday. We'll be setting up Friday. We'll be streaming all day on Friday. And we'll actually stream the show on Saturday and Sunday. We got a lot of prizes to give away for you there. If you want to see what some of the prizes are, go to our website. Just go to w5kub.com and click on prizes in the top menu. Click on Huntsville, and you'll see the prizes. We have everything from handy talkies to magazines to reels of LMR 400. We got all kinds of stuff we're going to be giving away. We've been testing Hambot. We're down to the wire to try to get a Hambot to work with YouTube. Our Hambot was designed, and Hambot has over 8,000 lines of code in it that we ended up with that we used on our IRC platform. But now we're on YouTube, and YouTube is kind of crazy. That's Google, and they only let you do certain things, and they keep everything secret, and they don't tell you much about how to do anything. But we actually have Hambot talking to the YouTube chat room right now, and he can announce prizes and things like that. So you may see Hambot come back in life this weekend, but he'll be there regardless, and we're going to give away a lot of prizes. So be sure and tune in and watch us on the Hamfest this coming weekend. I guess Joe's going to be there. I know Katie and Dwayne, you guys decided you're not going to make it. There's been several people, I think, back out. I know DX Engineering has canceled. MFJ has canceled. WB0W, I think, has canceled. I saw the last footprint. I saw Yezu's name had been removed from the footprint. So have you heard that, Katie?
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
John Kruk posted that on Facebook on the Yesu pages that they indeed were not going to be able to attend.
Okay, so it's going to be a little lighter. It's a little risky going. We're going to go, and we've had our shots. We're going to take plenty of, keep our hands clean, and we'll probably wear some masks most of the time, and we're going to take a chance. But we do want to support the Hamfest. It's time for it to come back and get back to normal a little bit here. So we're going to go, and I don't know if I think Joe was supposed to be in there, K0NEB. He and I always usually have a challenge to each other to see who will win the most prizes. Some years I win 0, but I'm gonna meet the challenge with Joe, and I'm gonna try to beat him in prizes this year at the Huntsville Hamfest. All right, let's see what else is going on. And then just a month later, I've got a ham fest in eastern Tennessee at Sevierville. It's a new, supposedly big ham fest. 3 clubs that come together. We'll talk more about that. Now, let's see. I think that's all the notices I need to give and all the information I give right now. Let's just jump around the room real quick. I see Katie and Dwayne up here first. How you guys doing?
Hi, Tom. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Doing well from smoky and hot Wyoming, but looks like we're finally going to get a break on the weather, and
97 today.
it's been ugly, but Dwayne's been doing a lot of chasing the meteors lately.
Oh, yeah?
Well, we had the Perseus meteor shower last week. I ran 3 nights of good meteor scatter on 6 meter. Put about 70 QSOs in the log, bouncing off the meteor trail. So that was fun.
Well, that's pretty cool. I've never done any meteor bounce. I'll have to try that sometime.
It's pretty neat, and it's really a weird sound too. Of course, like half of the digital modes, but it's pretty cool when you see it happening and how it actually manages to make those contacts. And
it sounds like a hammer drill on a cement floor upstairs.
Yeah,
well,
it's a horrible sound. But I did manage to use 2 meter, 100 watts 2 meter into Utah from here. And in case you're wondering, Salt Lake City is an 8.5 to 9 hour drive from us. So that was pretty impressive, I thought. Some people, it's nowhere near the record, but some people I thought, well, okay, we'll start doing 2 meter. So I did SO2R 2 meter. I made 1 QSO on 2 and about 73 on 6 meter. So.
And now our clubs, we're getting together and planning for the VHF contest in September. So it's something new for us around here, and one of our club members loves VHF and has a whole bunch of ideas. So now some of the club members are working together to make a plan of attack for that weekend.
That'd be good.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're building 2 18 element 440 beams, so we'll have 36 elements on 70 centimeter to try and do some EME work with it.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on around here.
All right.
Looking forward to hearing what Alex has to say tonight. Really glad to get to
I am
Alex.
too. We'll get to him in just a couple minutes here. Glenn, what are you doing tonight, Glenn?
I'm just relaxing. Finally got a job where I can start doing things again. Here in that meteor scatter, I've actually got a meteor scatter presentation that somebody gave me that I want to play with and clean up and do. I want to work some meteor scatter, and that's been something I'm on my list for quite a while. I love working 6 when it's open, and hopefully now I'm going to be spending more time at home, so I'll be able to get on the air quite a bit more often. And I am all packed up, ready. I have the presentation done for Huntsville. So if nothing else, we're still going to have the forum. Got some good prizes. When Hambot wasn't looking, I reached into his box and grabbed a few things. And we're going to be giving out a couple of Arduino-related prizes. ARRL is bringing a couple of my new books down to give away. And a couple of the other folks have donated some really nice prizes. So we'll be giving those away in my forum there at Huntsville. That's at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Back to you, Tom.
All right. Well, we'll see you down there, man, and we're going to have fun down there. Just keep your hands washed, and if you see somebody cough, don't walk into it, okay? Just kind of avoid them. That's all I can say there. Bill Brown. How you doing, Bill?
Hey, I'm back from Ohio and back in Alabama and getting geared up for the Ham Fest. Looking forward to it. Even though things have changed a little bit in the COVID situation, I think it's still going to be a good Ham Fest. And we've got a forum right after Glenn's forum at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Giving a talk. And then maybe do a launch at noon if the weather cooperates. So it's kind of iffy, but a lot of pop-up thunder showers. But if it's sunny, I think we're going to do a launch around noon on Saturday. So that'll be a lot of fun. Look forward to seeing everybody and seeing your gigantic booth this year. So that'll
Well,
be,
it's not any larger than it was last year. It's,
okay.
It's
You
all
just
going to
have
be.
more room around you.
We do have more room around us. On one side of us, we got 2 aisles going to the men and women's restroom behind us, and on our right side, we got the entry of the main door. So
Well, that would be a good traffic.
it could be. It might be. I'm contemplating whether or not I want to put plexiglass all the way around this thing.
I spent 2 weeks cleaning out my barn where I've got a bunch of old radio equipment, and I found some radios from the 1920s and 30s. They're receivers, but those are the big finds. They used to belong to my uncle, W8UN, who got his first license in 1921, and I found his logbooks going back to the 20s. From 1920 to 21 all the way up to about 1980, I found his logbooks, and there was just a big stack of them. So that was a real find to see. And they didn't have a W or an N or a K in front of your call sign or an A. It was just the number.
Yeah.
The old call sign used to be 8CQJ. There was just an 8. They had the call areas, but nothing, no prefix in front of it. So that was pretty neat, and a lot of history there. So I had fun digging into memory lane there, and a friend of mine was working the meteor scatter from Bowling Green, Kentucky, W4HTB, and he said he heard Puerto Rico on 2 meters through a meteor scatter bounce. So there was some good activity on 2 meters as well on that during the meteor storm. It was completely overcast for 3 days, so I didn't get to see any. But apparently there was some really good activity on the night of the early morning of the 13th. In particular, there were like 80 meteors per hour.
Yeah.
So, but looking forward to seeing you at the Huntsville Ham Fest.
Yeah, it's been a while, so that's the reason we want to get down here, just to meet with all our friends and say hello to them. So we'll see you there. Be there Thursday evening. I'll be slipping inside the Von Braun Center Thursday evening. And like last year, the guys setting up the curtains and stuff, you just slip them about $5 extra back there, and man, they'll set it up any way you want it. You need more curtains here, you want this bent this way, they'll just do it for you, man.
You can do a Wizard of Oz setup with curtains.
That's right, man. That's
behind
right.
the curtain.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Hey, are you staying in the Embassy Suites?
Yeah, we're at the embassy. Let me just also make this announcement. There are some hotel rooms available at the embassy right now. I think a number of people have canceled.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And there are some rooms available. So if you want to call the Embassy Suites, that is the perfect place to be, man. If it's raining, and let me tell you, with this hurricane, it's going to just about be over Huntsville Friday and Saturday. The hurricane, I imagine it's going to be raining. I don't know. What do you think, Bill? Rain?
It's 50-50. This tropical storm Fred was supposed to come right over us, but ended up going about 20 miles east of Huntsville and missed us completely. So it's very iffy. I'm going to have to wait until we get another day or two here.
All right. Well, hey, let's just jump on into the show now and get started here. I'm gonna we saved Alex for last here, so we're just gonna pull Alex in here. And Alex, come on in, Alex, and get on the screen here. You have to say something to get on the screen. Hello, Alex.
Okay. Hello.
There you are. There's Alex. He's in there. Okay. Hey guys, it's a pleasure tonight to get Alex in here, W7HU from Florida, on here with us tonight. And he's got a great story to tell, and an exciting story. And it's man, we're going to talk about trying to escape from Cuba. We're going to talk about building boats and float with 20-meter antennas on them, and getting stuck out at sea and having to be rescued. And we may even talk about how the jamming is affecting the Haiti recovery. We're going to talk about a lot. So we've got an expert on here tonight. We've got Alex on here tonight that's an expert in all those areas. So Alex, how you doing, man? You're looking pretty good.
Oh, yes. I'm doing good, and having a good evening tonight. I was actually 20 minutes ago, I was on a pilot on 20 meter. I have a bunch of people that I gotta say, hey, last one, because I gotta come here to the show, and I have to go and pick up a bottle of water, because I was calling for an hour as I was planning. But I'm actually just got a news from a guy who reported me from Cuba, but I have to verify if that information was okay. If that information was okay, I am. You can count that I'm a rich man, because not with money, but with pleasure.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
a huge,
you've been blessed. You've been blessed.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I heard from a guy who told me that the Cuban government is telling the people in Cuba that the amateur radio from Miami has been paid by the U.S. government to tell them lies about the socialism.
Well, how much money is the U.S. government paying you, Alex?
I don't know, man. I can't wait to get a check.
Yeah. Well,
I'm doing that for free. But that's the way and that's why it's very important for us as a ham radio operators to go and deliver them the freedom, to deliver them the true news, because the government can invent many things in there. Mm-hmm. They can tell that, you're this and you're that and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, they're always inventing things and they change the situation, of course, on their favor. But the people are pure and tired of that. And we're here to support them, and I will continue to support the Cuban people until they get free.
And you are a big voice to get the message out to those people. Alex, when did you leave Cuba?
I left Cuba 16 years ago on a raft. It was 55-gallon drums. It was the first attempt, I was 22 with the first attempt.
Yeah.
And it was 18 55-gallon drums.
Yeah.
And you got the picture right there. As you see there, those 55-gallon drums are those were not 11 and 11. That was the second time. There is the mastile right in the center, and the two wires that you see to the front and to the back of the raft is the 20-meter dipole. So I made a 20-meter dipole,
mm-hmm.
and I have, on the second attempt, a homemade 3-band radio, who was the designed by the guy in Camagüey, Cuba, Charlie Oscar 7 Golf Charlie. He designed that radio. They call him the GC 600. And on my first attempt, I have an old Yaesu FT80 Charlie, which is the commercial version of the FT 747. And that was the first one that I have. Well, in both of both cases, radio and ham radio saved my life. And the 7 Soul that we were on the first attempt and the second one. And I tell you why. When we have the tropical depression would hit our raft, we have waves of about 10 meters, and we lost all the water and all the food. The only thing that we have were left 7 cans of sardine and 20 liters of water for 18 days for 7 people. And when we had that, I protect my radio. If it was my life, and my radio remained dry. So the next day, I have the battery, and I was able to call MayDAy and talk to some Hispanic people in 14280, and they contact people here in Miami, and there was a big noise But in that moment, I didn't contact the 71300. The 71300 was on the second attempt, which I made it to Mexico. So in the first attempt, I was on the sea for 18 days and nothing happened. The water was like a flat. And we were floating there, and we didn't see any boat, anything. So we have to eat 1 can of sardine and half a glass of water every day at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So, and after we run out of water, of course, we run out of food in 7 days because there were 7 cans of sardine. Imagine 7 people for 1 can of sardine. That's not enough. But anyway, we handled it to made it. We finished the food, but we still have some water. And when we finish the water, we have to drink our own urine to survive. So everybody got their own can of sardine. You got to pee there and do like this and drink it. And the people say, why you don't drink salt water? We don't drink salt water because if you drink salt water, you'll die. The salt water will kill you in 2 hours. So you will have first diarrhea, and then you will have your internal failure in your body. So the hydration.
So your first trip, you were out there 18 days? Is that right?
I was the total of 22, but I was 18 days with no engine and no nothing.
Oh, okay. And
then I called, and when I called and I told them we lost everything, we don't know where we are, and I lost the battery, and of course I lost communication. Yeah. But I have a walkie-talkie that when we transport all of those 55-gallon drums to assemble the raft on the coastline, we have 2 walkie-talkie. One guy was on a bicycle 3 kilometers ahead, and I was talking to him. So I used that walkie-talkie just for the transportation of the raft in order to be high from the authorities, because the guy was selling clear, and you go and clear. The same thing we did the 2 times.
Yeah.
So that walkie-talkie, who was the FD23R, I put it on a backpack on a place right there on the raft. So in days passed and I forget about it. So there was a guy who was who believed in God. He was going to the church every day, and his son. That night, when I kept my radio alive, he gave the Bible to his son, and he told his son, keep it dry. And guess what? They got the Bible wet. And the next day, when Agustin realized that the Bible was wet and my radio was dry, he started yelling at his son, say, oh, I raised you believing in God, and this guy keep his radio alive, dry, and you have the Bible wet. Oh my goodness. And he lost the faith. And for so many days, he was not talking about God. He didn't want to read the Bible. He didn't want to sing us anything. And until that point, I didn't believe in God. But we start telling him when we have all the water left and we start drinking our own urine, I was thinking, why don't you read the Bible to us? And he said, no. Well, we told him every day. And then a day before we got rescued, he said, okay, fine. And he started reading the Bible. He started singing religion songs to us. We started singing with him. And out of the blue, I remember that I had the walkie-talkie. I said, oh, let me grab it. And when I turned on the walkie-talkie, it was fully charged. And I said, oh my God, that's good. I'm going to see if I can pick up, any station. I put it on a scan mode. And in Cuba, the government took part of the 2-meter band and gave it to the fishermen in order to get the cheaper radios, because they can buy ham radio equipment, which are cheaper than the commercial ones. So they just robbed the 2-meter portion of the amateur radio and gave it to them. They're using that as a commercial, but only what is here, the 144 and above, it was actually anything under 145 was designated for the, above 145 was designated for the fishing and the commercial activity. So I heard a noise. When I heard a noise, I say, do you copy me? This is Charlie Oscar 7 Hotel Uniform, Maritime Mobile on a raft. Do you copy? Say, who's there? Who's there? And I establish a conversation with the guy. The Yaesu FT23R has an S meter. So I moved on the raft 360 degrees to find out where was the signal coming from, like directional. So when I saw that there was a 5.9, I told them, okay, I have the sun right on my right hand side, and I'm copying you. You have to be at least 3 km kilometers from me. And we start talking, and they find us, and then they shackle us. They call the Cuban Coast Guard. They cannot give us water and anything.
So,
And
so after 22 days, now I guess you're lucky. Were you lucky or not so lucky? What happened to you after 22 days?
well, imagine that Alexis, Kilo Mike 7, Kilo Yankee, I believe was Alexis' call. He was actually peeing his blood, and he was almost dying. And it was this 2 nights before that he'd say, hey guys, if I die, just eat me. I have some meat over here. And he puts his hand into the backside, and we say, no, we're not going to eat you. If we die here, we're going to tie with a rope, and we're all going to die, but we have to keep our IDs. And our family deserve to know what's going on with us. Our family deserves to know what happens to us, even if we die. But we're not going to eat anybody. We're not cannibals, you know.
Yeah.
And well, Agustin started reading the Bible, and we got that signal, and we got rescued, and the Cuban Coast Guard came and threw us a gallon with water. And Alexis, who was the guy who was being, he grabbed that on the front, and he started drinking the water. We say, pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. He was like, we pass it on.
So here you are. You're getting rescued, but they're going to take you back to Cuba.
Yes. But we say, it's better to go to jail than going to...
Now, did you feel like that because you were trying to escape that they would be mad and they might put you in jail?
Yes, but I have one advantage. I have a radio with me, and I was talking to people in the United States. What's going on with that? The people outside of the country knew what's going on with us.
Mm-hmm.
So they were expecting what they're going to do with us. So the government decided not to do anything against us because we were in the public eyes, you know.
Oh, I see.
So they cannot disappear us if the people know that we were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I heard stories of the disappearing people in the middle of the sea. But they couldn't with us because the situation that we had communication and we make noise, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why they couldn't do that. So they treat us good. We went to the hospital, had 7 IVs, and they sent us back to our hometown, which is Florida City, Camagüey, Cuba. And well, I worked there for 2 years, and 2 years after that, we make the other raft, and we escaped from the same place, from the south part of the island.
So 3 years later, the second attempt.
Later.
Yeah, 3 years later, your second attempt. Hey, let's jump back just real quick before we get into the second escape. I'll call it an escape. Let's talk about how you started in ham radio. Now, I don't think there's a lot of, don't most Cubans, are they building their own radios? Do they have old equipment? What do they have, and how did you get started in ham radio?
Well, and yes, I know, and we start talking about the raft, and then we didn't
That's
do
okay.
my
That's
life
okay.
story from the beginning to the thing. But I'll tell you how I became a ham radio. I was walking down my neighborhood hunting lizards. I didn't have a toy when I was a child.
Oh wait, you were hunting lizard. What do you want with a lizard? Why?
We put the lizard together to fight, and we have fun with that.
Oh, okay. You have fun with the lizard.
Lizard. We put it together. We call it something chipojo, which is a huge lizard that are in Cuba.
Yeah.
And they're very aggressive in each other, and you put it on the place, and the winner is, the one who get the prize and all that stuff.
Okay, cool, man. Cool.
I was back in Cuba,
Yeah.
and we put it to fight and everything. And then when I was hunting the lizard, I heard a noise. wait. What is that? And I looked inside of the house, curiosity. There was this guy, Charlie, my 7 Oscar Charlie, with a gigantic 160-meter tube radio with the receiver separate and the power supply separate and the radio in the other side. And he told me, "You like this? Come over." And I said, "Okay." And I went inside and I told him, "What do you do with that?" I said, "Oh, I'm talking to people. I'm talking to Tati in El Tráfico." Well, that was 3 kilometers away, and I found that fascinated. I said, "Wow, he can talk with somebody 3 kilometers away, and with no wire and anything, no telephone, just with that." And he told me, "You want to talk to him?" I said, "Yes." And he asked me, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I'm a singer. I imitate the Italian singer Eros Ramazzotti." And he told me, "You want to sing a song for him?" And I say, "Yes, for now. Why not?" I grabbed the microphone and I start singing the song. He say, "Okay, now we have Alexander Valladares for you." And I start singing. What happened is our local radio station was in 1,480 kilohertz. Okay, 1.480 kilohertz. And of course, you know how close is 160 meters from that frequency. That guy, he doesn't have the proper filtering, and he was using an 811 tube, and he was putting quite a bit of power, and the harmonic was interfering the entire neighborhood. So when he pressed the PTT, who was in AM, everybody would listen to what he said. So since I was singing, imitating Eros Ramazzotti, the next day when I went to my school, everybody was telling me, "Hey, I heard you in Radio Florida. You were singing Eros Ramazzotti. Good for you." And all the ladies was telling me, "Alex, I hear you on the radio." And I feel important and say, "Wow, that's amazing." And I went the next day. I went that day back to Amaury's house, and the next day and the following day until I got my license. But it was funny that my first radio was an Islander, was a double side band that I didn't assemble myself because I didn't have the electronic knowledge. By Amaury do. I helped him to build the box and the body and everything. And it was funny because we went to a place in the farm, and we looked for those aluminum plates, and we have to scrub that and make it. That was a fantastic thing. And when we were assembling the power supply, one of the filters exploded, and then Amaury had a hat like this, and it broke the hat from here. The cup of the Russian filter destroyed his hat, and it put this huge, smoke, black smoke.
Yeah.
My mother was dying. That was in my living room. My mother was, "Oh my God, you guys are dead!" And she was scared, and she didn't like it too much. But anyway, I was, more intense than her. And that's how I became a ham radio. And then I learned, and I remember before I having the radio, I couldn't be a licensed ham because I didn't have a radio in Cuba. I don't know now, but back in the days, you have to build your radio, and they have to inspect the radio in order to give you a call sign. They give you something that is the CC, Certificado de Capacidad, capacity certificate, but you can operate with the club station, but you cannot do that. Well, I handle it to I borrow a radio from my friend Amaury, and I handle to make DX with a friend of mine's call sign. He told me, "Use my call and call," and he makes the DXCC. But I was the one who made it for him.
Oh no, man!
Yes.
All right.
Oh my goodness, that was crazy.
So, does the government take away your radios, or do you have to build your own radios? How does that?
Well, if you don't have the money to afford one of those radios that they sell there, that they're discontinued from the government, because the government use also HF radio, ham radio, FT 747, FT80 Charlie, for their communication. Well, they used to use that.
Where do you buy? Where would you buy? Can you buy a new radio?
No. You cannot buy a new radio unless somebody from the United States send it to you from somewhere in the world, and it's a pain to get a radio into Cuba.
Yeah.
And but before, in my time, there was no opportunity to get a radio, so you have to build your own radio. I wanted to clarify the people that there is no DX engineering, no HRO, no such a store like that you can buy parts.
Yeah.
People have to take the old Russians TV and take the parts to build their own radios.
Yeah. All right, so that got you into ham radio, and that's good because you actually had a ham radio, and it saved your life on your first raft attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, 3 years later, you decided to try again. Now, are the authorities not watching you guys to make sure you're not planning this again?
Yes, and that's why I have to move to Havana, and actually being one of those, how you call that, the cheap shepherd. I was working on a place or like a little farm there, as a shepherd, and for 2 years. And then when the raft was ready, they called me, and then I went back there, and we left.
So you went to be a sheep shepherd for a couple years.
For 2 years, yes.
For 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come back home, I guess, and you start planning. You start planning your next trip.
Exactly, but every day when I was with the chips there, I was actually dreaming and believing that my dream will be true. Because when I came back the first time, they make a meeting, and they kicked me out of the FRC, and which is the Cuban Federation of Amateur Radio, and they told me, you're never going to be a ham radio in your life. And I said, okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what you say. Something is what I like and what I want. And the second attempt, I'll tell you the truth, I was scared for sure, because after suffering 18 days, floating, and I almost died, you're scared. But my ambition to be a ham radio operator again, to being able to use a radio, was what pushed me all over to take the decision and go the second time.
Yeah.
I made the decision because I wanted to keep being a ham radio operator, because I knew in Cuba I will never be a ham radio operator.
Tell me about your second attempt. Did your same friends from the first time join you the second time? And how did you build things differently the second time? How did you make sure you're going to not lose your food? What did you do different?
The second time, instead of having all 55-gallon drums with all the water, if you put the picture again of the raft, I'll explain you why. If you have the picture of the raft, you can put it. We did something different. We used those white gallons there, those containers. That was the water. We didn't want, and we put a different rope for each one individual, and we tied the containers through the raft to an angular there, separate.
Those look like 5-gallon plastic jugs.
5 gallons. Yeah, 5 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the same with the diesel. We put the diesel in the front with small containers, and that way, if we have an emergency or a huge storm, if we lose one thing with everything, we will lose everything. So, but in this case, we tie everything and we make sure. Plus, we add more 55-gallon drums. In this case, we used 11 and 11. The first one was 9 and 9. And you think, oh, that's not much of the difference. Yes, it is. It is a huge difference in terms of space and floating.
Yeah.
And we did it right. And then we have plenty of food. We have a gas tank, a propane tank.
Yeah.
And of course, on a stove. And we were prepared for the second one.
So you could actually cook. You could cook your meals.
Yes,
If you
can
wanted
cook
to.
your meal. So on the second one, we lost the engine because we didn't know that in the diesel you have the return hose and you have to put that back to the tank. And we were throwing the leftover diesel to the water, and we burned 120 gallons in 2 days. And we were already on the right on the deep sea, and there was this tanker marathon who passed by and throw us a pallet with food. And that was the first time that I ate an apple in my life. The first apple that I ate in my life was from there. So they throw us a pallet with bread, water, and apples, and they didn't pick up us. I think I don't know why, but I was able to communicate with in the 14300 net with Whiskey 3ZU Fred Federico. He was able to contact the Coast Guard, and he told the Coast Guard that I was contacting. We were receiving a pallet with food from that boat. They contacted that boat, and the boat say, yes, we did. He was on this coordinate. So the nearest point was the Mexican authorities. So the U.S. Coast Guard called the Mexican Coast Guard and told them to go and find us, because they saw the currents and the way that the water goes, the currents. Even we didn't have an engine on the second time, we saw that we were moving faster because we had this current who was going to put us inside of the Gulf of Mexico. So we ended up very close to Isla Mujeres in Mexico, and we got rescued by the Mexican Coast Guard right there, and they took us to Mexico.
Well,
And that was the worst part. The good part was that we got rescued by the Mexican Coast Guard. Nice people, they treat us good, they give us food, medicine, everything. But when we went to immigration, they put us on immigration for 3 months until we escape. We have to break the door and then, walk from Veracruz until Brownsville, Texas. 17 days walking.
so they lock you up, immigration locks you up, and you have to break out.
Yes.
You break out, sneak away, and you walk to the U.S.
Yep. This guy here is Amauris, the guy who teach me how to be a ham.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. And I have a bunch of newspaper here that they give me in immigration when I cross the border. The border patrol gave it to me, and that was me right there on Mexico immigration. So I have to look for a better picture because I have okay right here. See, that's me right there. You see the skinny one right there?
Uh-huh.
The one is behind me. This one here is Alexis, the ham radio, and this guy here is Agustin, the guy who lost the fee and he read the Bible to us. And I didn't mention you guys that after that day, I believe in God since that day when we got rescued, and he was actually reading the Bible.
That's great.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that was, when I sent a letter to the ex-president Vicente Fox, and I became, the leader of the 66 Cuban people there, Cuban rafting people. And I was interviewed by many TV stations there. And, well, actually, when I crossed the border, that's why I got these, because the people in the border, they were, watching our case, and they keep this newspaper, and they give me this as a gift. So that was a very nice detail from them. I loved the way that they treat me, and it was very good when after going there to immigration and I crossed the border. I asked an officer, "Hey, I'm Cuban and I'm looking for political asylum." He told me, "Go to that office." So I went to that office. There was this lady on the bench. He told me, "Oh, I want your name and address in Cuba." I put my name and address in Cuba. 5 minutes after that, there was the officer Gonzalez and came and told me, "Alexander Valladares," and I say, "Me?" I was so scared. Imagine that. I came from a communist country when you scared the police and the authorities.
Yep.
And I said, "Me?" He put his hand on my shoulder and he told me, "Alex, welcome to America. You are a free man."
That's
you know?
great. Great. Yeah.
That
So-
was one of the best time in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Coming to a foreign country, not having even a family here, and get that warm welcome from an officer on the border. Only in America. That only in America. Feeling that freedom, feel free. That's amazing. You can't describe that. Maybe you don't understand what freedom means, but for me, this country changed my life for good and forever. You know?
Yeah.
And there is many Americans there that they believe this country is bad. Guys, you don't know what you have. What we have in this country, we don't have it anywhere else. See what's going on in Afghanistan. See what happens in all over the world. And you have a stability. You have freedom of speech. You can say that you don't like Biden, and they're not going to come after you. You know?
That's right. So, are you?
That's great.
You're the voice for those people now. You're talking to people in Cuba every day.
Yep. Yeah, I talk to Cuban people right here in Miami. There is 2 or 3 brave ham radios who actually talk back to us, and 2 of them they say that they agree with what we say and keep telling that. And when I do, to understand, to know if they're listening, I say, "Can you whistle?" And then you
Yeah.
listen when they say, you know that there is many people. I don't want them to say yes with their voice because they can get recognized and then they go after them. But they're there, they'll listen. And you know what happened? They have families, friends, and neighbors, and they say, this is what happened. This happened in Havana, this happened in this, it happened in that. When we give the information, they spread the word with their neighbors and family.
Yeah. Well, you're probably sending a lot of hope to the other hams and people there in Cuba, and they're seeing your story, and they're seeing the difference, you know, from what they live to what you live, I think. And
Oh,
you're
yes,
probably telling. I guess you're telling them that as you talk to them. I don't know.
Yes.
Now,
Yes,
the
I
government,
think-
I'm sure the government is monitoring many of those conversations, and it could get people in trouble, I guess. So you have to be careful, right?
Yes, for sure. See, this is the jamming. Now, at this time, the propagation with Cuba is a little bit gone, but still you see the 5 and 9 and listen the noise. That's the jamming signal. And you come over here. Oh, no, that's hold on. That's another jamming. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it is crazy. You want to know how that jamming start?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second.
Let's
put the
talk about
camera
it.
back. Let me put the camera back. Hold on, I was changing the microphone, not the camera. Okay, I got him now. Okay, I wake up on July 11th, who was the day of the rebellion in Cuba, and I look at my cell phone, and I saw this many videos from people, claiming from libertad, which is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all over the country. It was spontaneous, and the people went there with passion and needs and hope and everything. And out of the blue, a couple hours after that, we stopped seeing videos because the Cuban government cut off the internet. And I say cut off the internet because they didn't allow the people. What they really did is they changed the DNS, and when they changed the DNS address, the people cannot communicate and they cannot access to internet unless you use the VPN. And that was the second day when the people start doing, the smartest guys, they use VPN and then they can communicate back to here. But they, for the general public, they cut off the internet. And I say, well, we don't have the social media from Cuba, but I'm going to use the first social media ever. What is the first social media? Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Radio was the first social media. So I went there and I started talking, and it was these two guys that were very exciting when I was telling them what was going on in different provinces and cities, and it was a huge thing. There was people, a guy who actually was jamming us and offending us. That's what they do, when they don't have a reason to discuss a topic, they offend you and they tell you bad words and stuff. We didn't pay attention to him. We say, we're not talking to you. We're going to tell the Cuban people what's going on. And after that, they start jamming the 7130, who was the frequency that we start. I went to take a shower, and when I came back, I told the guy from Tampa, let's move to 170. We moved to 170, and they start jamming 170. And well, we went to bed, because around this time, propagation is gone. We went to bed, and the next day when I wake up, I said, well, jamming, it was only when we were talking. So when I turned on, I saw the jamming signal in 130 and 170. So, wow, that's crazy. And then the next day we went to 140, and they put a jamming on 140. They were following us and putting jamming signal. They also went there to 115 and put a jamming signal, because they have a net there. So they put the jamming signal with 15 kilowatts through the island. They have 21 transmitter, and I don't know if you have the picture of the rhombical antenna, the umbrella antenna.
I don't
know if
have
I
it.
send it
No.
to you. You don't have it?
I do not have it.
Okay, I have it somewhere here, but I thought I sent it to you. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right.
But they have this rhombical antenna, and of course, if you have 15 kilowatts within a radio of the city, you can now listen in 40 meter, because they have homemade radios. And with every radio, if you have a 15 kilowatt station, you won't listen anything 50 kilohertz up and down, because of the splatters. It's a huge wide open signal, and they have putting those on the the people from Cuba. They're allowed to go through from 750 to 7125, the third category, and that's why they're focused to put the jamming signal. And the CM, they can go above, and they put on those frequency, and they jam in 215, because in 210 there is a group of Cubans that they talk every day about Cuba and stuff, and they wanted to jam that frequency too. So, and here we go. They didn't stop putting the jamming signal. I put a video on my YouTube channel about the jamming, and I denounced them because they were jamming the amateur radio. And I saw on August 15, a guy from Cuba put, Haiti is near Cuba, requesting to protect 7150 kilohertz for emergency. Cuban government is jamming. That guy, if you allow me to
Sure.
screen share, I can do it.
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I have. Okay. As you see here, he's CO7 Whiskey Tango. All right. He said Haiti is near Cuba, requesting to protect the 150 kilohertz for emergency. Cuba government is jamming. It's not a U.S. guy. Hold on 1 second. I think. Yeah, I'm doing good. Hold on. It's not the U.S. guy who is telling that. It's a guy from Cuba that actually is suffering from the thing. And see what the guy from Haiti said. The Yaru R2 Jim Robert Galen, Hotel 2 Julia Romeo, president of the Radio Club of Haiti, reports there has been a significant structure damage request by Yaru member society to protect the emergency frequency 3750 kilohertz, 7150 kilohertz, and 14330 kilohertz. That for emergency. And now I say, do you think with a super jamming station in 157 and Haiti being so close to Cuba, they cannot communicate with nobody on that frequency? So we're asking the Cuban government to stop the jamming, at least on that frequency, the 7157, to allow the Haitian people to have their communication, their emergency communication, well done. You know,
Yeah.
it is another nation that is in need, and the Cuban government didn't stop their jamming system.
Yeah, and they probably will not stop. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Hey, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to open the phone lines up, and I'm going to invite anybody who wants to join us on Zoom that they can join us. And if people want to say hello or have questions for you, they can talk directly to you. Or if they have a question for Katie or Dwayne or Glenn or Bill, just the next 1 hour of the show will be very informal and open to anybody who wants to join us. So let me go ahead and put that number up here, and we'll move into that part of the show where we can get some participation from our viewers. It's been very interesting tonight and a great story. So let's see here. Let me put the phone number up.
Yeah, it is. It is funny that, and yes, Judel, you are right. Papa Zulu to Yankee Tango said this. He says, "It is not a government; it is a tyranny."
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Well, okay, here we go. All right, so the phone lines are open. The phone line number is listed below on the chat room if you guys would like to call. You also have the Zoom meeting. Just click on that Zoom meeting there and you can join us. So the show is open for you guys. Let me just take a quick break here, just really quick, and just say again hello out there to our audience. And if you're listening out there on International Shortwave on 7490, this is Amateur Radio Roundtable, a show about ham radio, and we're talking to Alex tonight from Miami, who after several attempts on a raft made it from Cuba to the U.S. and is giving us a lot of information of what's going on and what he had to go through to get here. So again, phone lines are open. So Katie, Glenn, Bill, you guys want to come in here and say anything?
Yeah, that's truly an amazing story. I grew up in Miami, and it was a very common thing for people on rafts or darn near anything that would float to try to come ashore in Florida. I believe the rule was that if they set 1 foot on the sand, they were allowed to stay. And so that was back in the 60s and 70s. That was when they had the Mariel boat lift and everything. So,
Well, the Cuban Adjustment Law was made by Bay Johnson, and the dry food, wet food was signed by Clinton, okay, in 1994, and it was derogated by Obama a couple years ago. So Clinton put it, Obama cut them off. The dry food, wet food. That means if you're Cuban, if you put your foot in and on the ground, you stay. If no, you go back. Now, they don't no longer have that protection. So if you come here, you have to be here illegal for 1 year and 1 day until you are eligible to get the Cuban Adjustment Law.
All right, we had a couple people join us. Let's see who joined. Let's see. Trying to see who joined us on Zoom.
You've got Jeff Cohn and Alan WK0Q.
Yeah, Alan's there. Hey, Alan, how you doing? Jeff, can you hear us?
Jeff, I think you're muted.
Yeah, you have to mute Jeff.
Yeah, we're getting a
How
few
about
people.
now? Can you copy me now?
Yeah, copy you fine. I see, who's that? Charlie? Is that Charlie there? Carlos.
Hello.
Carlos is going by Carlos tonight, but that's Charlie, guys. He's down in Uruguay. Welcome.
Hello everybody.
Yeah.
I got you. How's my audio? It's not too hot, is it?
No, it's sounding good, Jeff. How you doing tonight? Your shack looks good like always. You looking good there? Are you hearing us, Jeff?
Who's that? Charlie? Is that Charlie there? Carlos.
Jeff?
Carlos is going by Carlos tonight. That's Charlie.
Somebody's listening to the YouTube feed and they're about 30 seconds behind.
Yeah. Jeff, I don't think you're hearing us. Hello,
Yes,
Jeff.
I am. I gotcha.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we do. We hear you fine. I said your shack looks great tonight, like always.
Beautiful. There's just a lot of people talking at once, Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Glad you joined us tonight. Hey, just let me just say real quick, and hey, we'll talk about anything and everything during this segment. I'm sure a lot of it is going to be talking with Alex there, but hey, Charlie, I bought, we talked last week, I bought one of these radios. You see that radio right there, Charlie?
Yeah, sure.
I bought it, and let me tell you something, $69. I bought this radio to try it out. I thought it was going to be great. It sounded so bad. It sounded so terrible that I sent it back to Amazon the same day. I think the speaker was a piece of a tin can, and it had almost no audio. It was bad. So I'm very disappointed with it.
Can you guys hear me now?
We hear you.
Perfect.
Yeah, we hear
Hello. Yeah, I mean, Alan had a good experience with it. So I don't know, maybe it's the different batches. You have good ones or bad ones. I haven't tested it thoroughly yet. So but I didn't. For the money I paid, it's okay. But I haven't tested it too much. I've already had some issues with the firmware that sometimes it locks up, but I know that the firmware that comes stock has to be upgraded because it's a bit buggy. So I've already knew that before buying. So as if it's an Arduino, there is no problem in upgrading a firmware because it's just uploading a new sketch. So I haven't had time yet to really test it out. But as we have the close experience of Alan, that he was really happy with it. So I don't know. I cannot tell you yes or no about it.
Well, okay. Hey, I forgot to do so. I need to do something. Everybody just stand by, and we'll be back with you in just a moment here. June kicked off hurricane season, and another rough wildfire season may be on the horizon. When natural disasters strike, cellular towers and power grids can quickly become overloaded and down. Emergency comms need to be instant, reliable, and allow interoperation with other organizations and agencies. Amateur radio provides reliable emergency communications with the added security of system redundancy. In addition to our lineup of amateur D-Star digital HF and analog radios, our IC SAT-100 portable satellite radio and the IP501HM LTE radios are an ideal solution for the additional coverage. ICOM's IC SAT-100 is the perfect handheld satellite radio for use outside of cellular or network range. By operating on Iridium's constellation of satellites, quickly and easily connect with other PTT devices, even from remote areas. The IP501H and the IP501M radios provide instant wide area coverage over LTE. By using an LTE network, you bypass the need for a pre-existing infrastructure, allowing nationwide coverage without the added cost of building and maintaining your own. Connect to all of these devices and more, even systems operating on different protocols, with the VE-PG4 ROIP gateway. From land mobile and LTE radios to IP communications terminals and IP phone systems, they work together to form one seamless and uninterrupted network, ensuring your comms are received. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
All right, we're back here with Alex and the whole team tonight. Let's see who joined us on Zoom. I think Alan said he didn't have a mic, so he put a comment in the chat room. Who else joined us in Zoom? Who wants to jump in here? See how they're enjoying the show tonight.
Oh, it's a great show tonight, Tom.
Well, good. Glad you're enjoying it, and we had a great guest. Yeah, great guest tonight. We're probably going to have Alex on here maybe every couple of weeks, just to have some fun and talk about some good things,
Well, when we come back from the break here, or I guess we are back from the break, you need to get Alex to talk about his amplifier.
Yeah, we could talk a little about that too. Man, I might just. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to. I may do one.
Well, I'm telling you, I love this amp, and I think part of being successful calling today, there was a station from Senegal, in Africa. I think was 6 Whiskey 1. I forgot that QL. I forgot the call. I just made the contact, and then I listened to them. Of course, I always listen before I can call. I wanted to make sure that's the right person that I'm calling, and I have all the information before I call. And I called once, W7 Hotel Uniform, Whiskey 7 Hotel United. Didn't call me. And then I wait until he finished the call time, and I call again, Whiskey 7 Hotel Uniform, Whiskey 7 Hotel Uniform. Guess what? They gave me I break the pilot with the Mercury and the Urban Beam. I have the step-by-art Urban Beam. I put it just right to their location. Man, it's very good, and you feel so good when you have an antenna and an amplifier with the radio that everything match.
Yeah.
And when you put your antenna to that location, man, it's fantastic to listen how. And there was a guy, I didn't know that there was that station. There was a guy who called me from Hialeah. He told me, hey, hurry up, can you check if you listen that station? When I put him in here, and I say, yes, I'll listen to them. Let me put the live stream. I didn't plan to do a live stream today, and I just put it because I want him to listen the station through my radio, through the live stream. And I make the contact. He texts me and say, you're so bad.
Can you tell us the name of that amp and the model number again, please?
Okay, the name is the Mercury 3S. Hold on, let me put this camera here the way you can see it. It's the Mercury 3S.
Okay.
Camera. Okay. 1 second.
How hard was it to build?
I know it wasn't that hard. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this. There is many videos of how to build that on the web, and also the assembling manual is very good. Okay, you see it in here?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me turn on this.
Well, see, like my Alpha has LEDs for the power and SWR and all that, but you got a screen there that shows it.
Yep. So you see right there, and it is a touch screen. Okay, I don't know.
Now, is there tuning, or is there no tuning involved?
No tuning. You don't have to tune. That's a solid state, but there is no antenna tuner inside. But it has protection from everything. So you can come here to the setup, and you do the antenna configuration. Of course, this camera is not good for this. I can make a video. You can put on the antenna 1. I have my antenna, the Urban Beam, which is from 40 meter to 6 meter band. I have it on antenna 1. A 160 meter, I put it on antenna 2 just for the show. And 80 meter, I had that. But if I do this, reset, you see all of the antennas are right here. And then I can press here 160. And I can press here 80. So I have in antenna 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to take the beep, you go here to the display. You can take the beep up and you can dim. You can dim in, or you can put brighter, or you can put it on a sleep mode. And when you put it on a sleep mode, it will be on, but you don't see the screen. So, and then you come here and you have all the features. You know, total consumption is 1,750 watts. AC line for 120 volts, which burn 14 amps. I say 16, but it's 14 amps. Yeah. And 240 volts consume 8 amps.
Is it an auto switch? Is it an auto band switching, or do you have to manually band switch?
It is auto band switching. I'm going to that point. The power supply is built in. It weighs only 27 pounds. And you can plug that into 120 or 240 without doing anything. Just plug in and that's it. It's working. I have mine on 120 over here. I used to have it on 240. But I moved to this room that I don't have 240 here, and I put it on 120, and I make 1,200 watts easy. So also, it has protection. If you overdrive, it will trip. If you actually have a high SWR, 2.1 or 125 watts of SWR or reflective power, it will go. Also, if it gets to the limit current, the drain current to 39 amps, will trip. And also if it gets too hot to 65 Celsius, will trip as well. It has also, it works from 1.8 to 54. And
is there a specific interface cable between each radio and the amp, or does it work off of RF?
It works RF. It actually have a RF car detector card, so it detects the RF from the radio. It's only one cable from the radio to there, just for the PTT, And
so you have a coax, you have the coax, and you have the PTT cable. That's all.
That's it. That's it. And then the antenna. You have 3 antenna ports. You put 3 antenna on it.
Okay.
And then you have protection from high reflective power. It has current voltage protection. A wrong band selection protection, auto-volt power supply, programmable 3 output antenna switcher, and it's only 12 by 13.5 by 5.5 inch.
That's small.
It weighs 27 pounds. It is amazing. It's
is it made in the USA?
It is made in the USA by Kilomite, 3 Kilomite. And then if by any chance it will trip, you reset here and that's it. You have auto, or you can press that manually. You see? Hold on, let me put the beep because I like the beep on it. I put the beep on. I like the beep. You can actually change the band yourself, or you can put it on auto. If I'm on, you see that it's here on 10 meter band. If I press the PTT now, it came to 40 because I have my radio in 40 meter.
Oh man, that is cool.
So it is a state of the art, and man, the price of this baby, and it's always cold, and I talk for hours. This amplifier, it is amazing. It is amazing. It's easy to assemble, and the guy have a tremendous customer service, and beautiful LD MOS, and it have the BLF 189XR, the transistor, very good. So I think and it's a touch screen, 7 inch, and have the operate button here. Hold on, I didn't show the operate because I have the it has the operate button here, and you can put it on a standby and bypass and keep talking with your 100 watts or whatever watts you want to do it.
So you got to run for MayDAy one.
The Whiskey 7HU decal is not included. That's mine. So
is that just a sticker you have on there?
Yeah, it's just a sticker.
Yeah. Okay.
But I also have this metal one, so I
Yeah.
can put this metal one on it.
Alex, I have a question about your call sign. Is there a significance to W7HU and the story behind it?
What do you say?
The story behind your call sign, W7HU.
Oh, yes. I used to be Charlie Oscar 7 hotel uniform.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why. And that's why I ended up with this. I
Oh,
was,
which is a Cuban.
yeah, my Cuban call sign was Charlie Oscar 7 hotel uniform. In fact, I found out that I have this QSL card. That was my QSL card back in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes. A guy from New York sent it to me. And that
Hey,
was my Cuban.
Is there a good website, or is there a place to find information on this amp? Is there like
Yes.
a
Kilo Mike, Kilo Mike 3, Kilo Mike.
Okay.
KN3KN.com.
Hey guys, we have Bill on the telephone. Hello, Bill.
Hello there. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing good, Bill. Now, Bill, what's your call?
All right. Yeah, my call is W8LV, Whiskey 8 Lima Victor.
Yeah, okay.
I thought about getting on the Zoom, but I have a face that was it's made for radio, Tom.
Well, a lot of us do have that same one. Yeah, but we'll take you either way, Bill.
I was going to say, what makes him so special that he gets to hide his face?
That's right. That's right.
I just wanted to ask Alex, specific to the jamming, is it only happening on 40 meters, or are they jamming other frequencies as well? And is it going on all the time? Is it continuous jamming? How many transmitters do they really have? How many spots? I guess what I want to say is, how many slots, for lack of a better word, can they block at any one time? Because certainly some communication must be getting through. And I'll go ahead and hang up on that, and I'll listen on the television here with my wife.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and good evening to you, my friend. Well, they start jamming on July 11th. They didn't stop. They have 21 jamming stations, but they only have up to 7 running at the time. What they do is they have the 21 and they're running for a couple minutes, and then they put the other one to try to avoid the triangulation. The triangulation of many people that are being triangle, say the signal they know is coming from Cuba, but they have many of those jamming stations that they used to jam in radio and TV Marti. Okay, so they're running, they say, with 15 kilowatts. And imagine if you have a 15 kilowatts in any part of 20 or 40 meter, will burn 50 kilohertz easy with that, especially in the local area. You know, maybe it's not affecting the people on the West Coast, but the people who live in Cuba, like this guy CO7 Whiskey Tango, he's putting on his Twitter page that he has 60 dBs of jamming signal in his home. That proves you that is coming from there, and that proves you that he cannot talk in anywhere in the band, because he has 60 dBs of jamming signal all over the band of 40 meter. And you say, why 40 meter? Let's go to 20. Well, there is a reason for that. What is the frequency that is most common between Miami and Cuba? 40 meter, because of the propagation path. The pattern of propagation, you start at 8 o'clock in the morning, you finish by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. That's when the propagation is gone. You have the entire day with propagation with that, but you cannot talk at any time between Miami and Cuba in 20 meter, because the skip of propagation is going to be way far away. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why the 40 meter band is the only one that they're jamming, because it's the one that us, the Cuban America, the defective of the communism, the traitors, are talking on.
Yeah.
Wow, this is history in the making as this is going on.
Yep, and I actually I say that 2 days after they start, I put a video, and of course I was actually telling the world that they're jamming, and I denounce them, and hopefully one day they can stop that jamming signal, you know?
Well, maybe someday they will.
Maybe.
Well, maybe that's my next new project, Alex. Maybe I get me a Mercury 3S. Now, I don't know what I'll do with my other amplifiers. Maybe I'll have to, I don't know. Maybe I can sell them. Maybe I
No,
can keep
back
'em.
up, Tom.
Back up? Yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
backup to
I was
back
going to
up.
say, God forbid Tom actually sells something.
Man, hey Glenn, you know when you came over and we did the contest here. Let's see, we finally we were making so many calls. We used the voice recorder on my 7610, and the 7610 can take. It has 8 memory channels for voice, and while Glenn was here, I built up a little 1-button switch, so we had one voice memory, and that would call CQ. But look, hey, my problem, Glenn, I couldn't find a box, so I ordered me some little project boxes this week off Amazon. I got 5 of them for like $10, and look at here, man. I've got me 8 buttons here, and I'm going to be building up my 8-button memory for my 7610, so we can say a lot of things now without talking, you know.
Very cool. Yeah, I do that with my Go box. I use the FT450 from Yaesu, and it's got 2 memories, and I reprogrammed the microphone buttons and moved them out to foot pedals so I can send 2 different voice messages with my feet, so I can be, working stations and field day and having a drink, while we're doing the contact.
I did that in 1990. I came up with one of the very first digital voice contest chips that you could store a message and hit a button and give it. It was upwards of a 20-second message. It was ISD was the company. ISD 2560, I think, was the chip. And they went on and made the chip that were in Hallmark cards to do your own voice recording on a Christmas card or a birthday card. And it used the same chip. And you could buy a Hallmark card and use that as a voice ID.
Yeah.
But I published the first version of that chip. I knew the guy that started the company. Well, he was an engineer at the company. I got in contact with him, and he sent me one of the very first prototype chips before they went into production, and I got it into 73 magazine in 1990. And in fact, I got it in a month before QSD came out with it. But I just found that article in that magazine going through my storage unit in the barn up in Ohio. So I was reliving. I have every issue of 73 magazine from the very first one. So I was extracting all those.
I remember, Bill, when those chips first started coming out, and you could do voice recording. I had several repeaters I built many years ago, and back then you just didn't. I mean, an idea wasn't that easy to put on. Mostly was CW, and I was always looking for a little chip or something for a little voice ID, and. Man, this kind of stuff we have today just, being thrown out. These little chips and stuff do what we needed back then.
Oh, you remember the button, the little red button that they had at Staples?
Yeah.
Easy button.
Yeah, the easy button.
That was easy? Well, a friend of mine reprogrammed his, and when you punched it, it says, that was harder than it seemed.
Yeah. Oh,
well, here's one for you, Bill. That's the ISD 1820 for an Arduino.
Yeah.
So, I was going to play with the same thing.
The really cool thing is they're programmable. I actually made a telemetry unit that would speak temperature and battery voltage, because you could record like a little 2-second segment of your voice. So you could go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. And then individually address those and have just whatever number you wanted or whatever letter, speak it. And you could control that with an Arduino. So it's a great little project to do. And you can make a talking thermometer or a talking voltmeter that way.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I got it. I just haven't had a chance to play with it yet.
You know, so it's been great having Alex on here talking about his story, but he's about convinced me to buy an amplifier that I probably shouldn't buy.
Me too, Tom. I'm reading the
Yeah,
looking at the videos and
Yeah.
stuff on it now while we're on the listening.
yeah.
I'm
He's
really into QRP, but that amp looks pretty neat.
To me, QRP is a kilowatt.
Yeah.
I mean, you can excite that with 10 watts, and it'll give you, 700 watts easy with 10 watts.
it looks like my wife is watching the show. She just made a comment. She's logged in as me. Well, she's been testing Hambot, so if you look at that last comment,
I saw that.
Is there a lot of soldering involved?
So yeah, that was just a joke, guys. I'm really not interested in buying any new ham equipment at this time.
The comment says, Glenn, you are correct. Tom never sells anything.
I wanted to say
I'm the
hello
same
to
way.
I wanted to say hello to Carlos. Carlos, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿qué tal? Mucho gusto, muy linda tu historia. Yo comencé a escuchar tarde por la mitad de tu historia, pero bueno, muy linda.
Oh, no. ¿Cómo está ustedes?
Bien, bárbaro, gracias.
Y no como gato, no como perro.
Dos cervezas, por favor.
Cerveza
Negros.
fría, por favor.
I learned something, an 807.
Yeah, there you go. Alex, somebody just asked how much soldering is involved with that amplifier.
Not much. You have to solder, of course, the coax coming from the board, and the connector, the PLs, and the power supply cable. But it's minimum. Mostly assembling is pretty well done.
Hey, so let me ask you a question. Are the boards already basically built? Is the LD moss and everything already mounted, or do you solder all the pieces?
Yes.
You just get the modules.
Yes, you mount. Yeah,
You get the modules.
You don't have to do pretty much anything. It's tested and it's coming just to put on with the.
Yeah, it's like a Lego. I've been to the website just now, and I saw it's all the modules, and you can buy the
modules,
case,
of
the
course.
case, the modules, and you put everything together.
Exactly, and it's
Really
very
easy.
easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy. I know my friend Carlos, Kilo Japan 4 November Queen Alpha. He did it. If Carlos did it, everybody can do it. So that's another Carlos, not you.
No, I know. I'm laughing about
Yeah, my good friend Carlos, he did it quick, and he did it just after me. And I did it with
I wish I had one of those. But I don't.
my son Alex, he's in 40 VJ. He's 13, but he was 12 when we got the or 11 when we got the amp. And he was actually very curious. I just soldered him, but the rest he was assembling with me, and that was so great to have him involved in that project.
Right.
So it is good. It is good.
Nice.
Well, everybody, I'm going to sign off. It's been great show, and I look forward to seeing several of you at the Huntsville Hamfest here on the weekend.
We'll see you. We'll be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Bye,
go.
Bill.
Tom, I'm gonna go too. So,
Good night, Bill.
everybody have fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye,
you.
Jeff.
My pleasure. Thank you, Bill.
Yes, and excellent show, great story, and I really am looking forward to the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That would
All
make
right,
a great.
Bill. We'll see you. Bill, we'll see you in a few days. We'll be down there.
Alrighty.
All right. Hey, guys. Huntsville, we're talking about Huntsville Hamfest. We'll be there. We'll be there Thursday evening. I'm going to slip in here while they're setting the place up and offer the guy setting it up $5 or maybe a Coca-Cola, and they'll build your space kind of like you want it. That's something we figured out last time we were there. Going to be great, even though the attendance, I think a lot of vendors, not a lot, but a few of the big vendors are not going to be there. Yaesu's not going to be there. DX Engineering has canceled. and MFJ has canceled. But I think that's the only major vendors that have canceled. I think they're still sold out pretty much on the 390 flea market spaces they have inside. We're going to have a nice booth set up. If you do go to Huntsville, come by and see us. We'll be right there by the entry door, and we'll be glad to say hello to you. And let's see what else is going on.
Well, I've been going back and forth with the FazeDoc folks, and they're going to be there at Huntsville for that's going to be their very first Ham Fest.
Now, who is that, Glenn?
FazeDoc. They build a breadboarding type system. Let me see if I can grab it here real quick.
Okay. Hey, if you're out there right now, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit the YouTube subscribe button for our channel. We'd love to have you do that. It helps us out a whole lot. We're a little late in the show. The numbers are still looking fairly good. Do we have anybody new tonight that this is their first time to be with our show? If this is your first time, let us know in the chat room. And what do you got there, Glenn?
I reviewed this in QST a couple months back. This is called the FazeDoc workbench. There we go.
Oh, is that for the Arduino?
It's for anything.
Oh.
Everything mounts on what they call a click or a slide, and it can be removed. Let's see if I can pop it out here without breaking it. But everything's made to snap into place. I remember how to do it. There we go. And everything just snaps into place, and you can just mount stuff on the board as you need it. So let's say I want to work with a Raspberry Pi instead of an Arduino. I can mount it on the little unit and just swap it out.
That's really cool for prototyping. You always have everything like a octopus, everything. It's
yeah. For example, this is this is what they call a click, and it just literally, hard to show you in the board, but it literally just snaps into the board. So you can position it as you need it, add the components as you need it. I've just got my usual bunch of Arduino parts, and I can do all kinds of prototyping on here and then transfer it. And you can even get it with a protective case.
So it becomes a permanent.
That the monsters can't play with it.
Yeah.
But they're going to be there at the show, and actually we're going to be giving one of those away as a door prize at my forum on Saturday.
Well, what's the name of that?
FazeDoc, PHASE Doc, DOCK. And this will be their very first Ham Fest that they're going to. And Tom, I'm going over Friday. I'll be there probably about 3 o'clock. I'm stopping at the Space and Rocket Center to kill some time on the way over. And I should be there about 4 o'clock or so if you wanted to do something in the lobby.
I don't know what we're going to do yet. We'll just see how it goes. Just don't know yet. But I am bringing the mobile video cart that we'll be able to roll around during the show and have live video. And we roll that back to the room every night. So that has made it possible to roll that thing down to the lobby of the hotel there and set up and just do a webcast from anywhere, So I'm not sure what we'll do, but
because I remember you did that
a few years ago
there with Martin and a couple other folks in the lobby there at the Embassy Suites.
Yeah, and I wish Martin was making it this year, but they've decided not to come, so we're going to miss Martin.
I have a question to Alex. Hey, Alex, do you know Charlie Oscar. Let me see. Charlie Oscar.
Yankee.
No, sorry, no. Charlie Oscar 2 Foxtrot Echo Lima. Charlie Oscar 2 Foxtrot Echo Lima.
Charlie Ocado Fostro Eco Lima. Let me see.
It's called Felix. Felix. Let me see. Felix Sicle.
No, I don't know
No.
him.
Okay. Let's see. He came down to Uruguay to live. I know him from the club. He's a member of the club now.
Well, she have 3 letters in the back. That means that he was a new ham.
Yeah, he's young. He's a young guy. He's a communications engineer back there in Cuba, but he fled down to Uruguay. I don't know.
Okay, no, I mean, I know people who maybe will know who he is, because I know I have a lot of good friends there that they can give me, you know. But if he's in Uruguay, he moved over there. He's a good guy.
Okay.
He's a good guy. Okay, guys, I think I gotta go now. It's 10:35 here, and I gotta work tomorrow.
Okay.
But, I appreciate Tom that you invited me here. I love to see Bill and Tim and Glenn and Carlos and you know, all of you guys tonight over here. And this is good. This is a good place. Anytime you want me to be here to talk about ham radio, if there is any update on the Cuban situation.
Yeah, we'll have you back on again Zoom. Maybe back on the show again soon. You know, maybe we can get you on here every few weeks if you have the time, you know, just to kind of be a regular to come on the show here. We'll get with you, man. I appreciate you being with us tonight. Great show, great story. Everybody really enjoyed it, so thank you so much. I love Miami. In my other job, I retired from a company after 35 years, and Miami was our Latin America headquarters, and I was down in Miami about every month. I spent a lot of time in Miami when I was not in the rest of the other places of the world, but Miami is kind of a favorite place for me too.
Well, they say that Miami is a Latin American city closest to the United States.
Yeah. All right, 7-3, and we'll see you later. And oh man, you know, I'm not going to sleep tonight thinking about this amplifier all night now.
Thank you so much. I wanted to say goodbye to Richard, Papa Zulu 2 Yankee Tango, and Glenn, and Amel, which AP Glass, his call sign is Kilo Delta 8 India Japan. Amel, thank you for checking Tom's YouTube. Thank you also for subscribe to him, as well as Judel and all the guys that usually listen to me calling CQ over the 20 meter. Carlos, I don't have your call sign, but if you got a chance, send me, throw me an email with your call sign, and I would love to schedule a contact with you over the air one day.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys. Glenn, my pleasure, and Tom, thank you. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Like I always says, God bless America.
All right, man. Thank you.
Alex.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, let's see. We've got a few more minutes. Do we have with nobody else on the telephone? Nobody's calling in. Now, guys, we can take up to 1,000 simultaneous phone calls on our phone system. The most I've ever had on here is 3 or 4 phone calls simultaneously. We could take 1,000. I wish you could help us test that. So give us a call, and we'll try to see if we can manage that. Also, the Zoom link.
Let's see if you can manage 1,000 calls.
Yeah, we'll see if we can. Yeah. All right, and the Zoom link again. I'll put the Zoom link in case somebody didn't. You know, I need to post it again. Let me just put it in here. Here we go. Maybe somebody didn't see it earlier, but you can join us just by clicking on it right there. You know, in addition to our video show here on YouTube, our YouTube channel, we are also on WBCQ. It's a world famous international shortwave station out of Monticello, Maine, and we're on 7490 kilohertz right now. Not sure about the power, maybe only 50,000 watts, not a lot, but we still can be heard in many places. So if you're out there, give us an email. Send us an email to tom@w5kub.com and tell us that you heard us tonight. And hey, if you'd like to join us live during the live video show, it's on Tuesday night. If you're on shortwave, you're actually hearing this on Thursday afternoon. We used to do the shortwave and the show at the very same time, but in moving things around, we lost our live time slot for shortwave. So and it's worked out better for us actually to rebroadcast the shortwave piece. So on shortwave, we're on Thursday afternoon from 5 till 7 p.m. Eastern Time on 7490. And you can join the show every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time if you go to youtube.com/W5KUB. So you can join us either place there. All right. Well, Glenn, I can't wait, man. Huntsville's coming up, man. I can't wait.
First time, actually, it's kind of funny. You were at the last Ham Fest I went to in Orlando.
Yep.
Year and a half ago.
Oh yeah, we did the last one together.
Yeah, that was the last one I went to. As a matter of fact, I started getting ready for this week.
Yeah.
Getting my forum stuff together, and I brought down a backpack that I hadn't used since Orlando. And I opened that thing up, and I found all of the stuff that I had been missing since Orlando.
Yeah.
And all kinds of cool stuff in it. You know, half the stuff I bought in Orlando.
Well, I tell you,
I tell you
the that Ham Fest we went to, that was the last one. Things were just about going bad fast.
Oh my God!
You know, they were going bad, man. What's wrong there?
Yeah,
hey, Teresa, long time no see, girl.
Who you talking to?
Teresa.
Is she in here?
Yeah,
she is.
Oh, hey, Teresa.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Bill.
Well, Teresa, condolences to you. I know you just lost your other parent here this past week, and you're in everybody's prayers and our thoughts, man. Hang in there.
Thanks, Tom.
It'll be okay. Teresa's been with us a lot of times, a lot of places. She's helped us out, and Huntsville particularly, and she has gone around the room there and done video for us, and man, we're gonna miss that this year.
I wish I could make it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little.
Nothing else, it would give me a weekend out of the house.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about the COVID deal. We've had our shots, so we're going to try to be careful. Of course, you can never be careful if the germs hit you, but I don't know. Things have kind of got to get back to normal, you know, and I thought things were starting to get back to normal. Here in Collierville, Tennessee, this is kind of a suburb. It's outside of Memphis. Things look pretty normal here. I mean, I go to the grocery store, I go to Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever I go, people aren't wearing masks. Everything looks normal. We're not hearing a lot, but the county, they're saying the county is just swamped with hospitalizations, and they're talking about how bad it is. And if you look at the map, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama is completely red. Every county is red with the COVID. That's the maximum strength, I guess. But I don't know. We're going to go. And I guess if you die, you're going to die having fun with ham radio. Now, Kathy's not a ham, so hopefully it'll just hit me.
She's going to just sell all your stuff for what the price you told her it cost.
Well, right before I go to Huntsville, I'll put a sticker on all this stuff in here so she'll know what it cost. You know, she can't come back in the room. If we both make it back, I get to come here and take the sticker off.
Yeah, I mean, when I was at Amazon there, they would do testing and everything, and we'd get a notification on their app, and it seemed like they had at least one case every day for the entire time I was there.
Wow.
Just that one warehouse.
Well, and I don't know if people here know who I'm fixing to mention, but I think one of the reasons that MFJ is not making it, and they chose not to come, Mike Ennis, KB5YJF. Mike was the manager of Ameritron, the production manager for Ameritron. That's a part of MFJ, and Mike was always the one that came to Huntsville, and if you went to the Ameritron booth, you'd always talk to Mike. And Mike died last week from COVID, and it was terrible. He had not had the shots yet, and it just got him, and that probably had a lot to do with MFJ not coming. I would assume it did.
Well, I would think that just about everybody over there would be in quarantine or something similar because of that.
Well, that's true. That's true. You're absolutely right. If they came and they brought staff from Ameritron, everybody, you go up there looking at their amps. Now you're getting up against COVID. People that have been exposed.
Yeah, Chris just posted in the chat.
I'm looking at that.
MFJ, Tar Heel Antennas, Diamond Antennas, DX Engineering, HRO, Yaesu, and Amateur Logic have all pulled out.
Has HRO? I didn't know HRO pulled out. Man. Wow.
There are extra
Wow.
rooms at the Embassy Suites. Yeah,
Wow.
a lot of the big vendors that would have to travel are pulling out. But I would say that the flea market people are probably going to be there.
Yeah, but you know what? We're still going to go. I want to support this Hamfest. I'm going to put some money in the pot there for the tickets. I'm going to support this Hamfest. It's time that we try to get back some normalcy, and hopefully we can do it safe. And we're going to go. We're going to enjoy it. It's just a nice place to go with the hotel, the air conditioning. It's clean. It's nice. We'll just have to try to take extra precautions, and life is going on. So we will. We're going to be there.
Wear your mask, Tom.
Yeah, we will, and we'll be there. That's a bigger list than what I saw yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's surprising. That's surprising.
I've also heard that the Dayton group, they're not going to have the representation. They pulled out.
Well, and they may. I've been wondering them and Orlando.
That's what I've heard. I don't know.
Orlando. As of yesterday, they were still on the floor plan on the last published thing. They were right next to Orlando. All right. Well, no more phone calls. The phone lines are open, guys.
And you were talking about there.
I need a Hamfest.
You were talking about there in Collierville how things are looking pretty good. Things here in College Station look fairly normal, but if you watch the news, I know there's at least 2 of the hospitals in Houston that they've got so many patients that they've opened up tents.
Yeah, I saw that.
Outside to be able to take patients.
Well, there's so much out there in the media. It's getting difficult to know what is right, what is true, what's not true. I'm hearing and I'm trying to believe that 80% of all the people going in a hospital are people that have not had the shot. So that kind of makes me think that I'm fairly protected. That doesn't mean I'm totally protected. There are people, and 20% of people, I guess, that are going to the hospital that have the shot. I'm not sure how bad they're getting. What I'm hearing is a lot of people are having cold-like symptoms for 2 or 3 days. Now, if I get COVID, of course, that's what I want. I want the cold-like symptoms for a couple days. But man, Yeah, Mississippi,
The
they're filled.
Statistics here in Uruguay are that people that we are very good with the vaccines here. I think we are getting up to 70% of the population with vaccinated. So the news is that the people that it's getting into intensive care in the hospitals, none of them have. All of them are people without shots. So people that are vaccinated, if they get the virus, they take it really soft. It's not problematic. And we have been having a couple of days already without any death related to the COVID. So we are really good. And I'm already assigned a date for the third shot here.
Yeah, and that's what they're recommending here. They're going to start recommending a booster shot. And the people that do have the shots and are getting it probably have other conditions to them. I have I call it light medical issues. And of course, my age puts me at even a higher risk than somebody, 20 years younger than me. So, I don't know, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Here it's really very well thought out. They are given how do you say
a booster shot?
But they put with more priority. They're prioritizing the people with problems and
with pre-existing conditions or other
everything.
Things.
But all we had most of the. It was up to, I think it was 60 years old. You had the Chinese one, which is a traditional. They call it sleeping virus method, which is the traditional method, and not like the new technology like the Pfizer one. We had that one that everybody knew worked, but had it wasn't effective for a long time. So that's why we are getting the third shot. It's a Pfizer shot. So we are getting, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing, like I said, you don't know, and I guess things are changing as the medical field learns about this. For instance, how long does the shot last? Well, already, I'm seeing reports that the Pfizer shot is, the Moderna shot is like 70-something% effective now, and then the Pfizer maybe 42%. I don't know,
Well, they keep throwing numbers out all over the place. So there's really no way to tell anything.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not about the effectiveness. They call effectiveness when you don't get you don't get sick. But
right.
The good thing about it is when you get sick, but you don't have to go to hospital. It's like a flu.
Right.
And that's the important thing. I don't care if I get sick. If it's just staying at home a couple of days, so that's not the problem.
Well, I agree with you.
That for you don't to die. That's the problem.
Hey, Tom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
I'd like to make an announcement. I just pulled up something here on my phone that said the schedule of FCC amateur radio application fees likely will not go into effect before 2022. The FCC staff has confirmed during a recent virtual meeting with volunteer examiner coordinators, VECs, that the agency is still working on the necessary changes of the universal licensing system software and the process and procedures that must be put in place before it starts collecting fees from amateur radio applicants. So it's good news because my license expires on the 10th of December. And I don't want to pay the $35.
Well, look, hey, $35. It's the license is good for 10 years. That's $3.50 a year, man.
But hey, Tom, you still have to pay the $15 fee to take your license exam for the ARRL. They're not doing away with it.
Yeah.
So in essence, you're paying $50 for a license.
Yeah, $5 a year. $5 a year, man.
Renew mine, so
You know, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. What could I do without every year for $5? Oh, man, maybe 2 candy bars. Man, candy bars are getting high. I looked it up. Baby Ruth, man, at the store. Baby Ruth was $1.50, man. I used to buy a candy bar for about 25 cents. Now they're $1.50, man.
Let me tell you something. Being on the diet I am, I have saved so much money. I'm not having to buy things like candy bars and Cokes.
Yeah.
Now all I got to do is take a cardboard box and cut it up into slices and maybe reheat it in the microwave, and I'm good.
Well, that cardboard tastes pretty good. You know? Well, I took my medicine the other morning. There's good news and there's bad news. The good news is I'm not going to have any teas or fleas or ticks for 3 months. The bad news is I took the wrong pills, man. Yeah. Doug says that's only one Whopper each year. And just think if we didn't eat that one Whopper each year, how much weight we could lose. Man.
And that's actually very true.
Yeah.
As one who's lost 80 pounds, yeah.
Moonshine. They want to know how much moonshine. Well, there's moonshine. I don't drink, so I don't know.
Make your own, and it's free, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying your skin tone.
My skin is green. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Let me see what I can do. I don't understand
what
that.
It is your makeup's wearing off and your Martian skin is showing through.
You know, I'm wondering about that. Why is my skin looking like that tonight?
You have to do white balance to the camera.
Is that what I need to do?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm playing with some stuff right now. Probably, maybe so. Nothing's changing. Probably not even changing the right one here. Let's see.
No, I don't see nothing changing.
That grade earring, yeah. Let's see. Whoop, wrong way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I just probably need to. I need to get some different light in here or something. Different ways.
You know, but talking in the chat room about diabetics and everything else, I'm a diabetic and a heart patient. And, you know, like I say, at Amazon, the care area was right outside the hallway to the engineering office. So I'm like, I've probably been exposed 100 times. And, you know, I'm sorry, but I have to have a paycheck to pay for my ham radio habit.
Wow.
So
you turned all white there, Tom.
There, yeah.
I missed that. You know, but it's one of those, I've got to be out in the public to get my paycheck. So what's a ham fest at this stage of the game? He's turned all white, and then he's gone all quiet on us.
Yeah. All right, well, guys, we're about coming up to the end of the show tonight. I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. We had a good time. Oh, we got somebody on the phone. Let's see who that is. The phone's been turned down. Who we have on the phone? Oh, well, we don't have anybody on the phone.
Don't have anybody on the phone.
Well, I thought we had somebody there. Okay. I had the music turned down, so I didn't see we had anybody. Good night to everybody, and we will see you next week.
Well, we'll see you from Huntsville.
We'll see you at Huntsville.
Yeah,
Hey, guys, we'll see you at Huntsville. We really will. We're going to be webcasting all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And
are you broadcasting your way down there, Tom?
No, we won't do that, but we'll webcast set up. It'll probably start about 10 or 11 o'clock a.m. Friday morning, and then we'll be on the afternoon, and then we'll have our show Friday and Saturday, and we'll give away a lot of prizes. So be sure and tune in. And just one last comment: if you want to put your name in for this, oh boy, that looks terrible. If you want to put your name in for this Heil mic, which is autographed by Bob Heil right there, hey, any donation for $5 or more to help us with our expenses, you might win this one prize right here. This is the only prize we're setting aside for people that want to help support us. So go to www.w5kub.com, click on donate up there. $5 gets you one chance, $10 gets you two chances, $15 gets you three, $1,000 will get you, how many times will 5 go into 1,000?
It'll get you the microphone and Bob House.
It'll get you everything, that whole box, everything. I'll even pay for the shipping. Guys, good night. We'll see you later. It's 10 o'clock Central Time, and we're signing off on shortwave. Good night, everybody out there. Good night to everybody in the chat room.
Bridge there, Teresa.
Good night.